Hi, my name is Bryce Neal. This is going to be a simple tutorial getting started with ND2D. ND2D is a 2D framework by Lars Gherkins. It's designed to take advantage of some of the new GPU stuff in Flash Player 11. So in this tutorial, I'm not really going to go through downloading Player Global and setting up your Flex SDK. You can figure out how to do all that. For this tutorial, I will post a link up to my Flex SDK that I'm using in case you don't want to go and download Player Global and figure out how to set it all up yourself. Adobe should really just release a Flex SDK with the Player Global in it, but they haven't yet. So in this tutorial, I'm just going to kind of display a sprite on the screen. So I have this sprite sheet of Mega Man running. So I just want to kind of display it on the screen and display him animating and maybe move him around a little bit. So of course, to get started, like I said, you need the Flex SDK with the new Player Global in it, which you can download in the description of this video, and you need the ND2D itself, so you can get that on GitHub. If you're familiar with Git, you can just pull it. If not, there's a zip file you can just download. Okay, so let's get started. So first I'm going to create the project. I'll call it Hello ND2D. And so there's a few setup things we need to do first. Go into the properties of my project. I'm using Flash Builder 4.5. We need to go into, where is it? ActionScript compiler, and we need to configure our Flex SDKs. I'm going to add the new Flex SDK with the new Player Global in it, which is here. Okay, so I'm going to add that and select that as the one I would like to use for this project. You also need to add a compiler argument when you're working with Stage 3D. The compiler argument is swf-version 13. Also, I'm going to tell Flash that I want to use Flash Player 11 right here. And last but not least, if you're viewing your SWF in a HTML page, there's an extra compiler argument or an extra JavaScript argument that you have to add in, something like w mode equals something. I don't know, but we're not going to worry about that because we're just going to view the SWF. But just so you know, if you're trying to view it in an HTML page and it's not working for you, it's because you need an extra argument. All right, so I believe that's it for that. Also, I'm going to import some stuff. I'm going to import ND2D here. And then also, I'm going to go ahead and get my assets in here. So you should see that pop up here, around here somewhere. There we go. Okay, so now we're ready to get started. So first off, we want to create a couple classes right off the bat. I'm going to create a class called World that's going to extend to World 2D, which is an ND2D class, and then I'm going to create, let's see here, Scene, which will extend Scene 2D. I'm just going to create these classes and instantiate them. Although in World, I'm just going to, in my extended world, I'm going to remove these parameters and remove all these except for the first one, which is render mode, which is the only one that you need. And there are two render modes you can use in ND2D. The first one is auto, which is what we're going to use. The other one is software. I'm not sure why you would want to use software. Maybe if you wanted to just test and see how it looked on software in case you're developing for someone, a computer that might not have GPU support. But anyway, you're going to want to use auto. So now we're going to create our world here and add it to the stage. Also, while we're in this class, I'm going to go ahead and add my swf metadata tag. Okay, so now let's go into world, and we're going to do something similar here. We're going to create our scene. Oops, that's not good. Oh. Yeah, I'm using a trial of SourceMate. Okay. Much better auto importing. What are you doing to me? Let's see here. I don't know why I can't find it. Okay, I know why. There's already a variable scene in the World 2D class that I'm extending. If there's one complaint about ND2D, it's that the variables are sometimes named such that you might accidentally name one of your variables the same name as one of the ND2D classes. But anyway, so if I call it my scene, it should be fine. What is the problem here? Okay. Yeah, that'll do it. Don't tell it it's a variable. It won't work. But anyways, I'm pretty sure if it was scene, it wouldn't work either. Yeah. So anyway, okay, moving on from that. Now we want to instantiate the scene. And then we want to call a method called set, I think it's set active scene. Yes. And then we want to call a method called start, which starts the whole thing. So what is a world in a scene? You can think of a world in a scene as like, a world is your game, essentially, and then a scene is like your game states. So you might have a menu that's a scene, and your one part of your game might be one scene, and then a different mode of gameplay might be a different scene. It's sort of up to you how you do it. So now, so we have our scene appropriately named and declared as a variable, which is very important. Being set as the active scene and starting. So in our scene, I'm going to go ahead and embed my graphic. Let's see, where are we at? If this gets too long, I might have to split it into 2 videos. Anyway,